Hello you all. So I'm trying like a step at this whole YouTube thing again, but probably without, the review angle and more just being quirky and looking at things that actually interest me. So yeah, this may be a little more sporadic and a little more creative in like the direction and so on. So let's get right into the action. Let's try this out. Speaking of action and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So yeah, I don't actually want to talk about Indiana Jones. I just played, the new game, The Great Circle, with Indiana Jones and all that. And it really hooked me, especially a specific part of the game. So spoilers for the areas in the game, by the way. So I was like tomb raiding and dungeon delving in this giant ass pyramid, which of course were built by these pharaohs. And it really got me wondering, like, why do pyramids actually exist? Like, I know it was to, build these crazy expensive graves for their kings. And I know there are tons of conspiracy theories about, these big buggers. But like, why were they actually built, like, specifically? Well, that's what I will try to explain and find out for myself today. And as of writing this script, I haven't figured it out yet myself, so we're gonna figure it out together, I guess. Like a real adventure. Alrighty, so I'm going to talk about the pyramids at Giza from this article by National Geographic. But of course there are other pyramids in the world, but these three I'm gonna talk about. So yeah, these big fellas were built around, this time period before Christ and stuff. I'm not confident enough in my English yet to pronounce these big ass numbers, so yeah. So from what I understand, Egypt's pharaohs expected to become gods in the afterlife. The pyramids and the grand temples and all this stuff were basically something the pharaohs would expect they would probably need in the afterlife. So as far as I understand, it basically meant that they could keep all their stuff, when they went to the afterlife. So hey, if you had a lot of riches in, your life, why not take it with you in the afterlife? Even though the pyramids are, pretty big, they are only a part of the whole area. There were also temples and palaces and solar boat pits. Okay, so we're reading up from the script now because I don't know anything about the solar boat pits. A solar boat pit is an ancient Egyptian structure where a ceremonial boat, often associated with the sun god Ra, was buried near a pharaoh's tomb or pyramid. These boats were believed to help the deceased ruler travel through the afterlife, mirroring the daily journey of the sun across the sky. One of the most famous examples is the Khufu ship, I think, discovered in a pit near the Great Pyramid of Giza. The massive wooden boat, over 140 feet long, was likely meant to transport Pharaoh Khufu's soul to the afterlife. That's pretty neat. You learn something new every day, eh? So this guy, Pharaoh Khufu, was the first Egyptian king to build a pyramid in Giza. It was also the largest one in Giza and originally towered 481 feet or 146 meters tall, basically. So he would probably be pretty decked out in the afterlife with, the biggest pyramid with tons of treasure in it, so yeah. So the next pyramid, which is this one, not too big, not too small, was built by Khufu's son, Khafre. I really hope I pronounced these words right, but yeah. God, my Scandinavian accent is not meant to speak Egyptian names, and these names aren't even that bad, so maybe it's just me. But anyway, the second one was for Khafre. What's cool about this one is that Khafre got a sphinx to look out for his necropolis, or his tomb. From what I read, there's no definitive proof that he built the Sphinx, but nonetheless, it seems to guard his tomb, which is pretty cool. Especially since the Sphinx as a mythical creature is quite well known. The third of the Giza pyramids is the smallest one, built by Khafre's son Menkure. The pyramid, though the smallest, was still pretty impressive, as befits an Egyptian king or pharaoh. And it even has 3 individual queen pyramids. So yeah. And an interesting fact is that the pharaoh's elaborate sarcophagus was lost at sea near Gibraltar in 1838. So yeah, that was a quick explainer for the pyramids. And an interesting thing the article notes, as quoted by Egyptologist Peter de Manulian, is he mentions how the pyramids are often attributed to, tombs and death and stuff. But they are much, much more than just burial sites. And now I'm quoting from the article, these tombs have scenes and sites of every aspect of life in ancient Egypt. And as he puts it, and I'm quoting again, it's not just about how Egyptians died, but how they lived. Which, hey, that is also pretty cool to think about. So thanks for watching the video. I'm going to start, doing this YouTube thing again. So you can expect a lot of different videos with a lot of different ideas and themes. As I'm just like trying to explore and learn and getting better at this whole, YouTube thing and finding a niche, so to speak. But it's going to be about stories and history and what they can tell us about the world and ourselves. It's a little bit vague, but hey, it's a place to start.